Yes, my friends, it is that time of the year again. We're hunting some hackers here. I'm your host Harstem of Harstem Hunts Hackers. And today's hacker that we are hunting, or well, the alleged hacker, is going to be the green Terran here. That wasn't a screen peek that we just saw here, by the way. That was a Reaper sending out a little bit of a rally point into the main base, making sure, you know, that he gets there. Ooh, that was a little bit of a peek. I think it felt like a peek. Either way, it's gonna get in here into the main. Not sure what you could even do downstairs. Like, what are you looking at? Oh, I guess he checked to see if there's a gate, or maybe if you wanted to go into the natural. It does feel a little bit sussy, as the kids would call it. This guy is a bit of a sussy player. He's now gonna run in and back upstairs. This is a very common move. I don't mind it. That's a wild build order. The Nyx also has a wild build order. He hasn't thrown down any tech quite yet, which is surprising and bad. It is not surprising that it's bad, because it's good to have early tech, but it's surprising that someone at 4.5k MMR doesn't get tech earlier. I'm actually kind of shocked by that. We see the green Terran, the alleged hacker, opening up with a triple Rex into factory, but these Rex timings are very far off. Also, whenever you play this build, you shouldn't get as much gas early on, which is what he's doing, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm not sure if we've been cutting workers or if we've just been pushing into gas way too fast, but this entire ratio of minerals and gas seems completely off. Can I get a quick peek in the main? Stargate now goes down. Like, if I look at this though, it is really hard. Okay, well, that was pretty obvious, but imagine he doesn't Fog of War peak. Like, in a hypothetical world, right? It would be hard for me to see, based on this dude's responses, whether he knows what's going on. Like, this guy could get hit in the face by a goldfish and still doesn't understand that he's swimming, you know? Like, his build order is good against absolutely nothing. Triple barracks factory into starport. It hits late, because this is not the fastest execution that you can have with this build order, because his buildings are late. He can't respond to anything. Like, this is pretty much a catch-all build order that isn't well executed, which doesn't make any sense if you're going to have full information. And now, Harstem of the past would say, oh, this guy probably is not a hacker as a result. But I have realized over the course of this series that hackers generally don't have a brain, or they don't use it very well, or at all, a lot of the time. Like, they know so little about the base theory of the game that the early game advantage isn't really there, which in my mind should be one of the biggest advantages. How the hackers usually get their advantage is through unit movement. That's what I've noticed. Most of the time. It's not so much anything else, just making sure they have units in position against drops, against maybe Phoenix harassment, and making sure that their own drops can get in, or making sure that they can stim in and, you know, snipe a base and then get out again. And I think that is really where their main power is, because I don't know what the hell this guy is doing, but it's not a good opener. Like, it really isn't. I'm also not a huge fan of what the Nyx is doing here. He is supply blocked 62 out of 62, doesn't have the highest worker count, but this is still very playable. This is not god awful. It's a Phoenix Colossus opener. Yes, the Colossus are going to be late. Yes, the worker count is fairly low. Yes, the Nexus on the third base is also pretty delayed, but altogether, this is still fine, because both players have been supply blocked for a while. We're now going to get double eBay as well. I am fairly certain at this point, by the way, that our green Terran player is hacking. Just the way that the camera moves the entire time. Ooh, that was neat as well. A little bit of a cheeky right click further towards the bottom. Just lovely to see. First two medevacs are now going to arrive as well. Oh, yeah, there we go, baby. Let me see what you have. Oh, I see Colossus or a Robobay. Let me just start some Vikings. Also an interesting play. He built 4 Cyclones, which in this hacker's mind is probably a good call against someone that opens Phoenixes, but he doesn't have a concept of time. You know, if you're early on in the game, Cyclones actually are quite nice to have against Phoenix. It can help you defend against a lot of things. It can help you be aggressive against Phoenixes as well. But this late into the game, your Marine should be capable of dealing with this. You don't actually need Cyclones anymore. Cyclones are quite expensive. They don't really have any purpose in the mid-game. They completely fall off. So it really just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to get them anymore at this point. He's just doing it probably because he's seen high-level players do it against Phoenix, but I'm not a fan of this. Now it's going to start moving out with mainly a Marine army, 2 Vikings, and 4 Cyclones. Phoenixes sadly are going to get taken out. There's no way he saw that, right? Yeah, I don't think he saw those Phoenixes, so he must have just gambled on where they were. Very impressive. Good gambling skill. It's going to add 2 more barracks in right now. This 3rd CC has finished up. It's actually down quite a bit in workers. Like, if I take a look at this overall situation, I think the Nyx, despite losing his Phoenixes, is actually ahead. He's up in workers. He has pretty decent infrastructure. The only thing we're truly lacking is a forge with +1 on the way. Everything else looks pretty fine for me. Like, I'm looking at this situation, I'm thinking to myself, this is okay. Sadly, the Nyx has no map vision as well. That actually is pretty painful too. Because of course, RW hacking is aware of that as well. Look at that. Sees that there's nothing here. Yeah, it's gonna load up 2 medevacs. That is indeed quite painful. Thermal lens has finished up and it's just a pure marine drop. So if the Colossus pops out in the natural and you go in, a single Colossus against 16 Marines, if there's a battery nearby, it's going to be just fine for the Colossus. See our Terran player actually waiting a little bit. This is not even a move out. I love that he built 2 Vikings after the first 2 medevacs and then didn't build anything from his starport for like 2.5 minutes. So he could have had 6 Vikings already, or he could have just had freaking 6 medevacs and the 2 Vikings. So like, every read he's made so far, and every like blind counter he's done, has pretty much been undone by the fact that his macro is complete dog water. This is just so funny to me. His 1-1 has finished right now, and that's actually hugely helpful. He's floating 2k resources too, which is also great. The Nyx really should be looking to take a forward base a little while ago already. Now can actually get caught here by Cyclones, which is the first time in my life I actually see Cyclones being useful past the 8-minute mark in the PvT matchup. 2-2 starts, we have a command center. But the funny thing is that this Terran actually is higher MMR than what the Nyx is. This guy has 4.7k MMR, but so far I'm not seeing it. Like in the mechanics, I'm not really seeing it. He struggles spending his money when he's moving out with his army. He really is doing one thing at a time, always. And at some point, you're just going to hit like a ceiling where other players are going to be too fast. Like even if you see an adept coming into your natural, like if you don't know how to micro units and macro at the same time, you're going to be floating 700 minerals. It's like the information doesn't do you anything. This is like Mike Tyson basically going like a right hook and me going like, oh, right hook, right? Like I have any clue what to do. And even if I would theoretically knew what to do against Mike Tyson's left hook or his right hook, I still wouldn't have the power to stop it, you know? You just could keep hitting into my defense and eventually I die anyways. It's the same with these guys. Like they're pretending here. It's a good scan. Very good scan. Kills the observer. Next is now on the way. Storm. Almost done. Not a huge fan of Storm. I really prefer going into Disruptors from here on out. Especially, like, the lower the level, the sicker Disruptors are as well. We shouldn't forget about that. Like, Disruptors are so freaking good. The problem with Stormers is that... Actually, Storm is also very good at lower level because it's difficult to EMP ahead of time. I guess Templar tend to clump up a little bit. So one EMP tends to, you know, break all of their energies. Break the morale. The Nyx actually completely out of position again. Has some vision on the left side of the map. Is now trying to take some vision in the middle. Doesn't have anything on the right. And as a result, it's actually going to lose this forward base as well. Very frustrating as RE hacking is... Yeah, it's just going to take it out. There's some mines here with drilling claws as well, so they remain invisible. Maybe we can get a disruptor shot, or maybe we can. No, we can. 2-2 upgrade to 1-1, and it's starting to look pretty bad. At the same time, this preemptively spotted Zealot run by isn't actually being stopped here. So this has been spotted, except no units were in position. So once again, multitasking is difficult. There's also a lot of cash in the bank here for a red Terran player. Storms kind of blanketing this army. Let's take a look. What are we looking at? Where's the priority at this point? Okay. Just back home. F2ing everything back home. That's where the priority is. We got a tank siege up. This is not the greatest Zealot control either. And one thing that's really starting to hurt is the lack of upgrades. If you're down 2 upgrades against the Terran, it's bad. If you're down 2 upgrades against Terran and they're getting Ghost as well, it's really bad. Now, the Ghost Academy is done. Luckily, we haven't seen a single Ghost being produced quite yet. But the moment that happens, like, it's going to be freaking hard. Yeah, 4 Ghost instantly on the way. We see 2-2 being researched finally for the Nyx, but 3-3 also starting here for RB hacking, and that's going to make things extremely difficult. Prism on the way, Disruptors coming out. I guess as long as you know what army composition you want in the end, it should be very difficult to die in the first 7 minutes. So you're going to have a big advantage against like cheesy plays, against all-ins, because you can see exactly what's coming and you can hard counter it. So I guess you don't need the tightest build order if you play like this, or a build order whatsoever, or even the concept of a build order also not even quite necessary. He's going to get 2 more starports. He's lacking the gas. Just sieges up because he knows his opponent isn't in position. Do love that he already preemptively sieged the Liberator to the left side as well. It's absolutely banging. Fort base gets taken out. Really need to take this base at this point as a Protoss player. Like, guaranteed. You probably needed to take it a while ago. Can't attack into this. This is a really bad call. 2-2 upgrades are not done yet. You're attacking into a siege position, which makes no sense. And now we're going to get a pickup as well. Because you know at all times whether someone is, you know, waiting for you in the main base or not. Zealot Run-By actually is going to deal some damage here as well, so that's cool. That's the actual APM. 145 versus 237. It's hard to believe for me that these people aren't just going to run into a freaking wall at some point. Like, they're just too slow. Like, look at this, he just loses everything in the main base here. Like, it's great that he got in, but the moment there's a little bit of pushback, he's just getting absolutely blasted. It actually... There has to be at some point, you know, where just knowing where to move is not going to carry you anymore. I'm also shocked that they don't play like a different style, like more tank focused maybe. Does that make sense? I was going to say mech, but you can't play mech against TOS, so that definitely wouldn't have made sense. I feel like against TOS it's actually like difficult if you are this completely clueless. Like, and if you're this bad at splitting attention to win, because you are going to need to control multiple armies at some point if you want to abuse the fact that you have full vision. Like, his micro isn't very good. So it really comes just purely from army movement. And army movement, it only works if the Nyx has no units on the map, no observers on the map. I guess observers are hard to have because they get scanned instantly up there. Holy crap, this is a fight. Could he have won this fight? I think he could have, no? Look at this. We have what, freaking 12 storms? I think he got so afraid of his, you know, he got so scared of his own success that he pulled back. This is just 3 tanks. And the tanks aren't target firing because our man doesn't have the APM for it. So, look, if you just storm, you right-click those tanks, there's no ghost, no EMPs available. I think you actually just win that fight. Actually, almost shot himself with a disruptor. Yeah, I want to check that fight one more time. I think what happened here is that the disruptor moved forward, then he accidentally clicked on his army with the Purification Nova, and then the Terran sniped the disruptor so that the disruptor wouldn't actually explode on top of the TOS army. Look at this. Look at this. If he had kept this alive, he would have cleared 3 extra units for free. This is the first time I see that. What a huge blunder here by the Terran player. Should have zoomed out a little bit further to get that info. Gets a couple more storms on this army. Like, this could have been in here, and these tanks could be gone. I actually think it would have been a really sick fight. This was a potentially winning one. So much cash in the bank still for our Red Terran player. Not a lot of gas, but with Liberators, it's seemingly hard to lose this. Like, I don't quite see a future. Yeah, now it's too late. Liberators are siege up. There's a lot of Vikings in the sky. You need to get, you know, through these tanks once more. He's kind of going in and out of this, but it doesn't work. Don't forget, upgrades are still in favor of the Terran as well, so... Yeah, it's just not looking great. Mine's now moving forward. Now in sniffing range of this Nexus. Not sure what they're going to be doing here. These guys in general haven't moved in like years. And right now it's like, oh, they're going to have mines over here. That's great. Phenomenal stuff. Oh. Actually, hardly gets any kills. That's wild. Cannon goes down. Observer. Yeah. Dude, this guy's insane vision. He's the best eyes in the business. His dad is an optometrist. Are these the guys that do the eyes? Optometrist? I think so, right? So he's like the best glasses in the business. The guy that sold me glasses tried selling me glasses with blue light filter and I think rain protection. I think all glasses have rain protection already inside, no? Like, I don't think you need to protect, like, I protect my house with glass from the rain as well, you know? It doesn't go through. So I feel, maybe it's rain protection for the glasses, but it also doesn't make sense. I don't think the glass gets hurt very much by rain. It had like a bunch of extra stuff. You could pick between like the bronze, the silver, the platinum, the gold, the diamond. You had like all types of like super deals. I ended up actually going for silver. I added scratch free. And the moment I walked out of the store, I realized I got scammed. Rain protection would have been too much. You know, I picked the reasonable one in the middle. I was like, the middle one is probably fine. I should have picked the lowest one. No extra. This game is uber over, by the way. Yeah, this guy is uber hacking as well. I think I knew it within 3 minutes. Nice map hack. The Knicks only took 17 minutes. I think he knew faster as well. It's actually an impressive call. It's not easy to pick it up in the middle of a game. I wonder if higher level players are less likely to pick it up because we assume the other player is good and has ways of getting information, right? So if I'm playing against Serral with or without map hack, I think Serral's going to have a lot of information either way. But at this level, because people usually have so little information, it's going to be bigger, right? Because no one here is fighting for map control. Interesting thoughts. Yeah, this guy's a prick. He's going to get his account banned soon. I'll message it to my Blizzard contact. Thank you, the Knicks, for sending this in. In the future, I'd like to ask you all to, once again, send in more replays of you thinking you're fighting against hackers. You're also allowed to send in wins. It makes me happier to see wins, to be honest. I hate seeing these guys win like this. But I guess it is what it is. All right, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like button, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to smash the thumbs up. All right, bye-bye.